Hello again. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, Book 2 of The Wheel of Time. Before I start the review, I'd like to thank everyone who watched the first video, the people who talked to me about it. Really appreciate it. I was surprised to see how many views it got. I'd like to see more people watching these. And I hope that helps encourage some people to pick up a book, give reading a try again, or see what you like with this. I'd love to see more people embark on the wonderful journey of reading. It's a great thing to do. Alright. So this book really knocked it out of the park for me. It's a lot better than the first book, in my opinion. Still not perfect. I mean, it's hard to find something perfect. I'd also like to just point out, like, man, I dig this cover art. That looks really cool. I dig the old school fantasy vibes of it. I mean, it's kind of cheesy, and it honestly doesn't match the vibe of the story at all. But there's still something special about it. Alrighty, so firstly, I really like the characters even more this time around. When I thought about it more, I like the characters a little less from the first book. They really came off as kind of immature, but I kind of wonder if it was kind of there to help play up the childlike innocence that they had before the events that take them away happen. But yeah, there's definitely a little less of that in this. One character still kind of annoys me, though. I really hope Matt gets better, because he still annoys me. But in this one, there is definitely a lot more time dedicated to our one character, who I think is, well, I know is the main character, since it was kind of a mystery in the first book. At the same time, as much as I like that, I think it fleshes him out a lot more. I think his storyline is interesting. I kind of miss some of the folks from Two Rivers. There was not as much Perrin. I don't think there was like any real map POV in this. There wasn't much with Nineveh and Egwin. However, you don't get that, but you do get a lot of side characters and just like, I wouldn't call them throwaway characters, but characters outside of our main group. And it really helps create these different threads and shows a lot more and enriches the world. It really helps flesh out more areas of Robert Jordan's world. That was a big plus to me. With all that happening, all these different narrative threads, it really comes to a head in the ending. I did not like the ending of the first book very much. It felt very abrupt. It just felt rushed. But in this one, you get a lot of build-up. And my god, it comes together so well. And and I'm going to constantly compare it just because he's like my favorite fantasy author right now. It felt like a Sanderslanch. Maybe this is where Sanderson got his inspiration for it from. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, it's just a lot happening. And man, I had to go to work when the climax was happening, and that was hard to do. But yeah, if you read the first book and felt like, man, this ending really wasn't that good, read this one. It's a lot better. The pacing was definitely way better. There was nowhere near as many big exposition dumps, which is definitely a valid complaint for the first book. I liked them. I don't mind them. I know a lot of people don't like exposition dumps, but I feel like they're definitely necessary for how much history there is to this world. I don't know if there's an actual name to this, like, land or not, like the whole world besides the world. But yeah, there's a lot going on in that. One thing that was kind of weird to me, though, or I'm curious why it's as heavy as it is, but especially in the first, like, I don't know, 5-6 chapters, just a lot of recapping. Like when characters talk about certain other characters, or when they talk about other things, or they talk about items, there's a lot of recapping, and I guess it's because, if someone's not binge reading the books, they might have forgotten these things, but someone who is reading them rather quickly, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like binge watching a show and having to sit through a recap. Prologue was cool too, as an aside. This book is a lot more violent than the first one. I was kind of surprised at how much more it is. The first one definitely had its moments, but there's some pretty brutal stuff in here. It's definitely not grimdark or anything, but they turned it up a notch. Let's see. I think one of my bigger criticisms with this, and I don't even know how I would... It's definitely bad, but it's not deal-breaking or anything. It's called The Great Hunt, and they are hunting the big magical MacGuffin. It's the whole point of the journey that the characters are on. But my god, there's a side character who every time he comes into a scene, I swear to God, all he talks about is how he needs the MacGuffin, how he has to capture it, how he has to find it, how he has to return it. He needs this MacGuffin. And I'm like, please, character, shut up. I don't need to hear this every single time you come up in a chapter. It's obnoxious. It's like if he was Gollum or something. But yeah, I guess it's the point of the book, but still, it was kind of annoying. There's also some, twists set up in this book, but I didn't think they came off very twisty. I thought they were, pretty heavy-handedly foreshadowed, and I'm not that great at picking up on foreshadowing, so me being able to, call these from a mile away, it's not exactly the subtlest of twists. But with that, those are pretty minor just compared to how much I like this book overall. It just felt so much better than the first book. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. As soon as I'm done doing this and uploading it and stuff, I'm going to start book number 3, The Dragon Reborn. I'm pretty thrilled for that, because this ending for the book leaves you wanting more. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.